Hey, James. When we talk about unconventional growth hacks, I feel like, everyone says that, but what's really the big idea for today, eh? Because it often just feels like we're rehashing the same old tactics, like SEO, PPC, maybe a bit of social, and it's getting kind of crowded out there.
Right, Emma, exactly. And that's precisely it, isn't it? We're not just flogging a dead horse here. Today, we're diving deep into what I call micro-community mastery. It's about finding those tiny, tucked-away digital corners where genuine connection thrives, and then really tapping into that for unparalleled hyper-targeted conversions. Forget the broad strokes. We're talking about surgical precision here. It's an approach that most affiliates honestly overlook entirely because it doesn't scale in the traditional blast and pray sense, but it's incredibly powerful, like when you get it right. It's quite brilliant, really.
Okay, micro community mastery. That sounds intriguing. But could you define it a bit more for me? Because when I hear community, I often think of, well, big Facebook groups or maybe even Reddit. Are we just talking about smaller versions of those, or is there a fundamental difference in what you mean by micro community?
No, that's a brilliant question, Emma. And it's crucial we differentiate. When I say micro community, I'm not just talking about a smaller Facebook group, although some might fit the bill. I'm referring to really specific, often highly engaged groups formed around a very niche interest or problem. Think Discord servers for vintage mechanical keyboard enthusiasts, right? Or private forums for specific model train collectors. Even highly active subreddits dedicated to, say, competitive cheese rolling, if such a thing existed. The key is the depth of shared interest, the intimacy, and the often very high trust levels within that particular group. They're not just members, they're often friends, or at least very well-acquainted peers.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So it's about super specific passion-driven groups rather than just small numbers. But how does that translate into a gold mine for affiliates? Because instinctively, I think that smaller groups mean smaller audiences. And, usually we're chasing scale. Is this a different kind of scale then?
Precisely. It's an entirely different kind of scale, Emma. See, the gold mine isn't in the sheer volume of people, it's in the intensity of their needs and their willingness to invest in solutions for those highly specific needs. Think about it. If you're promoting, say, a generic productivity app to a broad audience, your conversion rates are naturally going to be rather low. But if you're in a micro community dedicated to optimizing Notion workflows for freelance writers, and you present a very specific Notion template or an integration tool, the relevance, the trust, the context, it's absolutely through the roof. These are people who are already actively looking for solutions, and they're often far more receptive to genuinely helpful recommendations from someone they trust within their circle. It's less about chasing every single person and more about finding the right people who are, well, ready to buy.
That's a really good point about the relevance. So if we're not just searching for best Facebook groups for X, how do you even go about finding these really specific micro communities? What are some of your sneaky but ethical tactics for discovery? Because they sound a bit, well, hidden, if you know what I mean.
They are. They absolutely are, Emma. And that's why they're often less saturated. So first off, beyond the obvious Reddit and Discord, which, have directories, I lean heavily into specialized search engines. Think Google, but with extremely precise long-tail keywords, combined with search operators like in-URL forum or site groups.io. I also look for niche blogs and YouTube channels. Often their comment sections or about pages will link to their own private communities, right? Or the creator might mention a specific forum they frequent. Another great one is digging into product reviews. If a product has a super passionate user base, they often create their own independent support groups or fan communities. Don't forget academic forums or even hobbyist newsletters. It's like being a digital detective, really. You're looking for breadcrumbs.
Okay, digital detective. I like that. But once you've found these communities, like, what's the approach? Because jumping in and just dropping affiliate links, that's pretty much a guaranteed ban, right? So how do you go from, just lurking to actually being a legend in a way that doesn't feel spammy or transactional?
Absolutely, Emma. You've hit the nail on the head. Spamming is the absolute death knell here. The goal isn't to just waltz in and sell, it's to contribute value first, authentically. So first, you join and you listen. You understand the culture, the inside jokes, the common pain points. Then you start engaging. You answer questions, you share genuinely helpful insights or resources, stuff that has no affiliate link attached. You become a known, helpful presence. It's like building friendships, really. You're not immediately asking for favors, you're building social capital. Over time, when you've established yourself as a valuable member, then you might, very sparingly and contextually, recommend a product or service that you genuinely believe will solve a specific problem for someone. And you always disclose your affiliate relationship. Transparency builds trust, right? It's about being a resource, not a sales bot.
That makes so much sense. It's like being a helpful neighbor, not a door-to-door salesperson. But when it is time to actually convert, how do you make sure your offer really hits home? Because even with trust, people still, have to be convinced. Are there specific ways to frame the offer within these micro communities that are different from, say, a typical blog post review?
Oh, absolutely. The framing is everything. This is where contextual conversion really shines. Because you've been listening, you know their language, their specific struggles, their aspirations. So when you recommend something, you don't just list features. You speak directly to their expressed needs using their terminology. For instance, if you're in that mechanical keyboard group, you're not just saying, this is a great keyboard. You're saying, hey, for those of you struggling with finding keycaps that fit the rarer Alps switches, I found this supplier, and their PBT quality is fantastic for tactile feel, right? You're addressing a known pain point with a solution tailored to their specific jargon and preferences. You're leveraging the trust you've built and the deep understanding of that community's unique ecosystem to make an incredibly relevant, rather bespoke recommendation. It's profoundly effective.
Wow, okay, that's powerful. So it's about deep understanding and hyper-relevance. But my immediate thought goes to, how do you scale this, James? Because, being super active in one or two communities is doable. But if you're trying to do this across 20, it sounds like a full-time job. How do you scale this smart without just spreading yourself way too thin?
Another excellent point, Emma, and this is where the smart comes in. You don't aim for 20 communities. That's indeed a recipe for burnout. You identify a handful, say 3 to 5, that are exceptionally aligned with your affiliate offers and where you can genuinely add value. Then you focus on deep engagement within those. The scalability actually comes from building processes around your engagement. Perhaps you set aside specific blocks of time each day for each community. More importantly, it comes from documenting your findings, the successful approaches, the common questions. And, once you've established a strong reputation, you'll often find people start coming to you for recommendations, or they'll tag you in discussions. That's true leverage, isn't it? And as you grow, you might even eventually hire someone to help manage community engagement, but only once the model is proven and extremely efficient.
I like the idea of documenting and, letting people come to you. That's smart leverage. But with any strategy, there are always pitfalls, right? What are some of the most common mistakes you see affiliates make when trying to venture into micro communities? What are the big don'ts that people absolutely need to avoid if they're going to make this work?
Oh, there are plenty of landmines, Emma, absolutely. First and foremost, self-promotion too early or without permission. That's an instant ban often. You can't just drop links. It's seen as a violation of trust. Second, not understanding the community's unspoken rules or etiquette. Every group has its own culture, right? You need to observe and adapt. Third, being inconsistent. You can't just pop in once a month. Genuine contribution requires a regular presence. Fourth, not disclosing affiliate links. That's unethical and will destroy any trust you've built. People will find out and then you're done. And finally, trying to force a product that isn't a perfect fit. If the community clearly has no need for what you're promoting, you're just wasting your time and risking your reputation. It really is about being a genuine helper, not a hidden salesperson. It's a delicate balance, but when you get it right, it's incredibly rewarding.
Okay, so no spamming, be transparent, and actually care about the community. Got it. So for someone listening right now who's like thinking, this sounds promising, but where do I even begin? What's one concrete, immediate, actionable step they can take today to start exploring this micro-community strategy?
Right, brilliant question, Emma. Let's make this actionable. So, your first step today really is to pick one of your existing affiliate niches and then perform a very specific Google search. Think beyond the obvious. Instead of best running shoes, try best running shoes for flat feet, marathon training over 40. Then add search operators like forum, community, Discord, or even private group. You're looking for those long-tail, hyper-specific discussions. Spend, say, 30 minutes just observing what pops up. Don't join anything yet, just identify potential communities. See how people are talking, what problems they're discussing. This initial reconnaissance is absolutely crucial. It'll give you a feel for the landscape and help you identify where that genuine need and engagement truly lies, eh? Don't overthink it, just start digging a bit.
That's a fantastic first step, James. Really concrete. I think sometimes people get overwhelmed, so having that clear starting point is key. It really sounds like this isn't just a quick hack, but more of a long-term relationship building strategy for affiliate success. And frankly, that feels more sustainable, you know? Less chasing algorithms, more connecting with actual people.
Absolutely, Emma. You've perfectly captured the essence of it. This isn't about fleeting trends or gaming a system. It's a long game, yes, but it builds genuine, robust, and ethical affiliate businesses. By focusing on micro-communities, you're not just selling, you're serving. You're becoming a trusted resource. And that, my friend, is an asset far more valuable than any ephemeral traffic source. It's about creating an ecosystem of loyalty and reciprocity, and that's really the alchemy we're always striving for, isn't it? It's quite the transformative approach, I think. So get out there and start finding